My concern today is about children. We have to take care of our children. There are so many things that are killing our children these days and that we are taking for granted, but we have to know these things very, very well. Less attention has been given about children and their morals, their development, and their, you know, lifestyle. We are always focused on creating contents and doing lots of things, talking about adults. We're always reactive because we're always looking at issues around that are happening around us and talking about them, but we have not really focused on the problems that are surrounding our children, knowing that the future generation or the people we're going to talk about tomorrow are actually these children today. You know, when you see a little baby today, you are looking at the next 15 years or 10 years or so, and you have another person who is also becoming an adult and who is going to become either a blessing or a curse to the society. And so it is important for us to look at things that concerns our children, because if we want to talk about the next generation, it is not about us, it is about the children that are coming, you know, from our lands or the ones that are coming from other people. And I want to welcome you. Please share this because it is important, and also like it and subscribe to this channel. It is important because I want to really deal with the issue of children today. Talk about it very, very decisively today. We have seen the very trend going on social media and everywhere. Every parent wants to feel like they are very good to their children. They are providing for their children. They are giving their children everything they need. They want their children to develop, to grow, to have the best in life. But the truth about it is that when you don't allow children be children and develop to harness their childhood, you would end up having people who have tried to give the best of love but hating them so much that you are not able to allow their brains to develop. You know, and so their less development in their brain affects the way they deal with society later on. They might be very intelligent academically, they might go to school, and all you want to do is you want to see your child have the first position in school. Good, it's very good, but the truth here is there's a difference between being intelligent academically and having this intelligence, natural intelligence for life and to deal with life matters. This is what begins the life of the child. It is not academic knowledge. The life of the child is determined by the ability to reason. Now let me tell you something this first, so that you can understand. Know this first. The first stage of child development is to help them reason. The first stage of child development is to help them reason. If you are having your children and all you're doing is give them, you know, things that would not make them reason or take them through a process of not being able to reason properly, you are failing. Now let me go straight to the point. Some of you don't know that it is even by United Nations or UNICEF that allowing a child access to the screen, whether television screen, whether phone screen, or any kind of screen, from age 0 to age 3 is prohibited. It is not allowed. Do you know why? Let me tell you this. The reason why it is not allowed is, one, you feed them with cartoons. That's what you feed them with, right? Their mindset is regulated by what they see. And you know that you are actually passing information from that cartoon into them, of which their mindset has not been developed enough to handle. So they begin to live their lives or begin to have their brains controlled or designed like a robot. What is coming into their brain right now is from the cartoons. It is garbaging some information to them about things just being done in one way, and one kind of sound is registered in their head, in their brains. And so you begin to have children who conclude that this is what it is because they have not been taught the process of reasoning on their own. Now, at age 0 to age 3, if you allow your child to start with screen, TV screen, phone screen, you are failing as a parent. In fact, you are laying a very bad foundation. Did you know that, you know, the medical experts have actually proven that allowing the children or the child access to phone or the screen, any kind of screen, TV screen, some of us, we just put, once they are crying, we just bring phone and leave it before them, and they begin to see life as is a format, one pattern. But when you let them experience, life the way they can experience it, see things around them, talk about things, you show them what this is, you tell them the name of this, they see something out there, you talk about them, and you build their mind to first have a reasoning capacity, at least from that point of age 0 to age 5. Basically, age 3, they shouldn't see the screen. And when they start seeing the screen from age 4, it should be regulated with the information you have been passing into them about understanding the ability to reason. So whatever they see now on the screen at that point, which must be very regulated, it must not be consistent. Whatever they see at that point in the screen will work with the information that you have already passed into them, which makes them human. Because what makes us human is the ability to reason. Once you're not able to teach your child to reason from age 1 to 3, and you allow screen to determine how their mind is built or how their mind is formed, you would end up having children who don't reason about things, but all they want to do is believe in everything. So they go to school, 1 plus 1 is 2. How did it become 2? They can't tell. Or they can calculate very well and they keep calculating. They can't ask critical questions in life. They end up becoming a problem to you and the society because they can only just get academic information. The cartoon you give to them is an academic information because it is not helping them to enhance their reasoning faculty. As humans, we are different from animals because we reason. So if we reason, then we must understand that to harness that aspect of us, that aspect that reasons in us, we should be conscious about what gets into us from the formative stage. Remember, every child has come blank. Every child comes blank. No information, nothing. It's just like when you buy a new system, everything is blank. You begin to put in things, and whatever you put into it becomes what you can see anytime you open it. If you buy a laptop or you buy a phone, whatever it is, whatever you store in it is what you keep seeing. Aside the original format in the phone, which is built in the panel, is meant to serve you. So the chart comes blank. That blank space must be filled. The parents now determine what is filled on it. The reason why you see some children, they operate like their parents, is because of the DNA, right? Now the DNA has some information in it. That information or that code on your DNA determines how useful it can be based on the information that now is garbaged in. So when you have your DNA coming from your parents, of course it affects your physique, everything about you, but your mind also needs to be developed in its own capacity, even if it comes with the format from that same DNA that comes from your parents. But if you allow these children now begin to feed into their mindset these things that are not really giving them the capacity to reason properly and understand their world first, you will end up putting information that is garbage inside of them. It's just like when you bring virus, when you want to put antivirus in your phone, or you buy a laptop or a system, and the first thing you do is say, okay, they say you have to install antivirus, and all you do now, mistakenly, you install a system, something that is corrupted. I remember when I wanted to put some antivirus in a system I bought in my office. When I told them to come and do it, I wasn't there. When I came back, I discovered that they actually put terrible viruses in the system. I had to call somebody else, to come and fix it for me. You see, now it affected what I could do at that point in time. Once I opened the system, all I see is virus. When I want to try something, virus. Everything is like my system was going to crash. And so I had to get somebody who fixed it. But the truth about it is that when it comes to the human mind, fixing things easily is not that easy, because it is not a robot. We are not robots. We have that emotional aspect of us. When you get information that is wrong and put it in the mind of a child, the child also uses their emotion to regulate and use that particular information as if it is right. That is why you can see somebody who is into suicide, who have been indoctrinated with into killings, like all these suicide bombers and all these terrorists from childhood. They indoctrinate them. It ignites their emotion, because everything you have to do that is in your sense level or in your realm of reasoning has to connect with your emotion. Your emotion now helps you carry it out, because your emotion is where the desire is. You actually want to do something, you want to take action. When you allow your child begin to have a particular format in their mind with cartoons and screens, they don't learn to reason. They begin to follow a pattern of behavior which goes according to that cartoon, and so it begins to bring frustration inside of them, because you see, everything you do around them is different from that thing they are watching on the screen. And when it is screen, because it is unique, it's not like what they see regularly, your face and other things, they tend to have more conscious attention on it. And so that's why you see a child will be glued to the cartoon. They want to, and you see a child who can even, I have seen a child who the father takes or the mother takes the screen from her or him, and most of you know what I'm talking about. You see them begin to fight their parents, or scream and cry and angry, reacting angrily. These are things that are seen on the cartoon. The anger. You see most of these cartoons, the kinds of things that are shown on it, and all of that. Now, it is not for you to start giving. Did you know, as I told you, United Nations has said it, that 0 to 3 years should not look at the screen. When you want to give your child academic knowledge, it is not, those of you who take your children to school, they are not supposed to start learning academic things between the age of 0 and 3. They are supposed to be going through, being taught things that will enhance their reasoning. So when you take them to a school where they have screen there to show them some stuff, when they are crying, you put screen on them, you are in the wrong place. Get your child out of that place. Let your child learn physically from physical people. Let them play. From play, they will be able to, this one can beat this one, the other one will beat this one, they will feel the pain, and they will understand some stuff. And then you tell them, no, don't do that. They learn that they shouldn't do that. You shouldn't beat the other person. And then they are playing with some other things. They see something, they pick it, and they carry it. Maybe something hits them, and they cry, and they know that next time that thing is dangerous. They can't go near it, or next time they shouldn't do this. And they begin to have some kind of play that begin to teach them to interact with fellow human beings, because we are humans. And you must understand that as humans, we are not built to have fellowship with animals or robots or operate like robots. We're supposed to interact with our fellow human beings. But we have allowed our children to have operation and emotional attachment to things that are animated, that are not real. And so when it comes to the real life, they don't know how to explain it. They don't know how to express it. They don't know how to go about it. They are not really very knowledgeable about how they can move their lives forward. And so they begin to get frustrated, angry. You see a child insult the parents. You see a small child these days. Look at how, just have you observed it? The difference in attitude of the children that are growing right now and the children of those other times. Now we are saying that the system is corrupt. Things are going wrong here and there. We're having a generation of people who are corrupt, and they are not thinking, they're not reasoning. If you see them, they are angry, they are always reacting, they are responding negatively to things. They are only responding by the garbage in. They are responding by the garbage in, and we must take very much attention on all of this stuff so that we can save our society. Every child should begin to have academic knowledge from the age of 5. That is when you can now begin to tell them things about academics. Now, when you do that, what happens is this: the things they learn from 0 to 3 and 5 would become meaningful to them, so that they would now be able to scrutinize the academic knowledge. Did you know why today we have people who are so academically sound? They can get first position in class, they can do some stuff, but when you look at their reasoning faculty and the way they relate, their behavior and attitude, and the way they relate with their world, you discover that they are deficient. They don't really know what they're doing, and they are very aggressive. And sometimes you see it, someone can pick up a gun and they press and shoot somebody, in the Western world, and you see young boys who just take gun and go into school and begin to shoot their classmates or their school mates and all of that, because their formative stage was dangerously put together. Parents were giving them information that were not needed at that point in time. They were not taught to reason. It is not good to do this. It is not good to do that. They see everything on stage and everything on screen, and everything they see on screen is perfect. Both the anger, both the bitterness, both the chase, both the slap, both the stabbing, the cartoon. The other one kicks that one, the other one hits the other one in cartoon. Everything seems real. Everything seems to be what should be. That is how life should be. So they begin to act that on their parents. When their parents begin to try to caution them to do right things, you see a child will be angry, annoyed, want to fight the parents. Some will kick their parents, some will hit their parents. And in the Western world, you don't touch your children. They have these rules, but the truth about it is that when you want to implement them by disciplining your children, they come for you also. So you see, but in Africa, we have the opportunity of training our children rightly. Even those of us who are in diaspora, we have the opportunity. It is all about being a friend to your children and discussing with them, having that connection with them from zero. If you are partners, you know, we know that we have single parents who must take care of their children. But please, even if you're a single parent, try to do something that will make you have access to your child to take care of your child. If your child must go to a school, of kindergarten also, make sure that that school is not where they put screen before them. Everything, just put screen before them so that they don't cry. No, it must be where there's interaction and it is very transparent. People can investigate, people can come in and see what is happening. It is not hidden where they can do something to your child and you don't know. It must be analog, not digital. Analog in the sense that people must practically relate with your children as if they're your parents, and you must make sure that you know to a level or extent how that school has been able to deal with other children coming from that level and how they have been able to mature before you put your children there, so they don't get into the wrong hands. And you must be able to investigate and make sure you know that that school is actually doing it right. So you must be very, very conscious of your child's development. It is killing our children these days. Our children are committing suicide. Our children are committing so many atrocities because they are not monitored and given the right information from childhood. They are put before the screen. Why are you putting your child before the screen? Oh, I want to have time to do other things because I want my child to stop crying. You're not helping that child. From 0 year to basically 3 years, they shouldn't be on the screen at all. They should have interaction with humans. They should make their mistakes. They should feel the atmosphere. They should, engage in things that have to do with. They should not be kept somewhere as if they are chickens or robots and you are feeding them with screen and they are just there docile and living in a world in circle around themselves and seeing the world like a cartoon, and then they begin to express those things, and then when it comes to the time you start to correct them, they begin to fight you and react to you because you have sown something into their spirit and into their soul that is now reacting and resisting the change that you are bringing. Remember, this is not computer, this is human. So the faculty to reason, the emotion captures it. But on the system, there's no emotion. It is the brain, the memory. It captures it. And then when you want to get it back, the brain gives it back to you. But in the human, there is the emotion. There is the brain. When the brain captures some stuff, once the emotion embraces it and takes it as it is, before you take it out, the emotion is already grabbing it. The emotion must be convinced, and the emotion is not easily convinced because it is emotional. It actually works based on the fact that it has a connection to interest. So because of that interest, it easily gives up something that has become part of it, or that has bought his and that has caught his attention. So it is important we deal with all of this stuff, and I want to please encourage you. Let's deal with this matter to save our children. We are having a world today that is horribly horrible. Horribly horrible. Because look at it, if you look at the future, looking at now, you'll be wondering what is there for us in the future as a people. But we need to really put our hearts together and see that we restore the next generation, or else it's going to be disastrous. So don't let your child become one of those who are being killed with this kind of training, because gradually you are dying. And sometimes you see these children die young. Sometimes they kill themselves, sometimes they kill their parents, sometimes they commit murder, sometimes they go into criminality and they are killed because there are things we didn't really get. And also, as a parent, you must make sure that you give the children the best in the sense of attitude and character. Some of our parents are very horrible. That is the problem we have. because they grew up under a system that is horrible. They grew up, their own parents didn't take care of them well, so it's affecting everything we do. So please, but I'll talk about that later. I'm just giving us a big intro of this. This is the intro of this particular teaching. I'm going to go further into this, the teaching for children to see that every time we have the best for our children, and we change the society by changing our children. We shouldn't wait until they grow up and then begin to commit a crime, and then we begin to build prisons to put them in, or we begin to look for how we can solve the problem when they are already now adults and their emotion has taken over their senses. And so whatever that's gotten into them now is now there permanently, and it's very going to be difficult, very, very difficult. Talking about rehabilitation and all of those programs, we would actually save so much money from all these rehabilitation program and all these things we do if we in the families we did enough to take care of our children and keep them informed from the time they are born. If we had done our jobs as parents, there will be less job for the society and less crime in the system, and there will be lots of money saved and resources kept for better use. That is the problem. But I hope that little by little we shall correct the anomalies. And please share this on all your social media platforms. Like this video, please, so that others can see. When you like it, those who are following you or who are your friends will see it. When you subscribe, YouTube will spread it more. The more the subscription, the more YouTube can spread these kinds of message. So please do that, and please like it also, and share also to those you can give to directly and those you want to hear this kind of message. It is important. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and enjoy the rest of your day.